Let's get started. What do you go by? What's your name?
So my name is Mikey or Michael, but I go by Mikey, Michael Anthony. That some people want to know. I don't like giving away my last name too often, but you guys get my middle name there. That's some content right here because I don't tell anybody my middle name.
So you were in San Diego before. Is that where you started streaming? Like, is that where the whole inspiration to streaming came from, or where were you
No,
living?
I actually was still living up north. So I actually moved to San Diego during COVID. I was out of work. I've been in the restaurant business for a long time. And when the world shut down, there was no more work for us.
Mm.
So California was actually paying out quite a bit for you to just kind of stay home. Like everybody was like, on unemployment because we had no other choice. So there was no work for me when I actually started streaming because we were just doing it'd be like me and my friends because I mean literally Warzone came out and a week later the world shut down. So like
Mm.
what were we doing? You had all day, you know, we started playing Warzone. We just were playing a lot of Call of Duty. I mean, I played Battle Royales for a while. Like I used to be in the PUBG. That was like my
Yeah.
first real one. And then, Fortnite came out and I felt like this is too cartoony for me. I like it now, but it felt a little too cartoony for me. I liked the urgency that PUBG gave because it was like once you're out, you're out. And I was like, I like that. So it
Yeah.
was fun. But then Black Ops 4 dropped Blackout, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so it's PUBG, but you're gonna give me Call of Duty version of it? Like I get a first person of this, like, and it's gonna be running clean. So I started playing that, and
So
then
Blackout was the first one of like Call of Duty, like a battle royale map.
yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
So they had Blackout, and then actually, Rebirth Island. It's actually Alcatraz out in San Francisco.
Yeah, yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's just
So
crazy.
it was called Alcatraz on Black Ops 4. That's when the first Rebirth map was ever. It was just called Alcatraz. And you would drop in and it was different because you would get like 4 lives. You would like drop through these portals in the sky and you would land on Alcatraz. And then if you got killed 4 times, you were out and they had to start buying you back.
Oh
So it wasn't
wow.
like unlimited, like how we have it now, where it's like pretty much unlimited respawns,
Uh-huh.
like every time. It was you were limited, so it's like you died 4 times, you're out. Now your team's gonna buy you back. So I was playing that like crazy. I was like, okay, like the other map was really fun, but it was just this map was just so fast paced, and you're just playing and playing and playing. I thought back then, like I knew a couple people who were streaming, and they're like, you should give it a shot. Like you're good. You should, like you could do it. And I was like, I don't know about that. And then we were just doing Warzone, so we're just locked in the house doing Warzone like every day. Part of the reason why I'm a drinking streamer is because of the format that we set up during COVID. Like we were all bored
Mm.
and we would set up days during the week where we would like hang out and it'd be like me and 3 other buddies and we made our own drinking game
Mm.
for Verdansk. And to keep each other accountable on if we were actually taking drinks, we just had our phones up and we would be on Zoom calls. So we just set our phones up and be on a Zoom call and we would just make sure like, hey, you got to take your drinks. At the end of the game, every kill you get to pass out a drink. And now a drink wasn't like, oh, like you got to chug a whole beer. Just take a sip. So we would do that and everybody got to pass it out. So if you were, you had a good round and you had 10 drinks, you get to you got 10 kills, you get 10 drinks, you get to pass out to your friends. I'm like, all right, well, each of you take 3 and I'll cheers you and I'll take the last one. So I'll take my sip and then they take their 3 sips. And then everybody would pass out their drinks. That's kind of where all started, was like going into streaming and like really this whole like streaming journey. It all began during COVID because we were locked up.
How'd you get the name ThicccMamii? That's what I want to know.
The ThicccMamii name.
Yeah.
The story of ThicccMamii. Okay, so as I was saying, I am a bartender by trade. That's what I do for work. I used to work at this restaurant that had like a kind of a tight bar. Like it was like working back behind it was really small. And I also worked with a lot of females who were shorter than me. Like I'm a taller dude. I'm almost like six. I'm like one of those guys that are like 6 foot, but I'm like I'm almost 6'1". I'm like right in the middle. I'm like maybe 6'1.5". All right.
Hey,
You
the
catch me
half.
in
Yeah.
Catch me in a pair of J's. I'm 6'1", bro. All right, like you know what I'm saying.
Hey, all he needs is them light up Skechers, and then
Just
he
a
fucking
little
got the
bit,
extra inch.
just some high tops gives me that extra half an inch, and I'm 6'1". All right, I'll take it. But yeah, so
So
like
dope.
I'm a larger dude, and I worked with a bunch of girls who were like 5'3", 5'4".
Yeah.
So I couldn't really see them in my peripherals. If we're busy Friday, Saturday night, whatever. I'm going and flowing, pouring drinks, whatever. Sometimes I'd turn and I wouldn't be able to see them behind me or whatever, and I'd bump into them, and they'd always be like, "Mikey, watch where you're going." I started joking around. I was like, "I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'm just a thick mommy."
Oh
And it was
shit.
like So it was just a joke.
Yeah.
And I used to get a lot of regulars that came to that bar and whatever. They were like, "Oh, ThicccMamii." So like the next time I had like this couple sit at the bar, they're like, "Oh, hey, ThicccMamii," and I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh shit!" And then it became like my nickname at the restaurant. And then I used to play Warzone with like one of my boys I used to work with at that restaurant. And when I was talking to them about becoming a streamer and stuff, it was my boy Timmy and my boy CJ, and I was like, I don't know what to make my name or whatever. And my boy CJ is like, "You're ThicccMamii, bro. Like that's your name." And it just stuck. And I never thought I would get to this point. Like obviously I never thought I would get to this point, but it's so funny because like it's kind of a troll.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask next. So being that your name is ThicccMamii, I want to know what type of game is your favorite game to play, and how has your username, been receptive, to that type of game, whether it be like, seeing your username in Fortnite, seeing your username in Warzone.
Oh,
Have you caught people off guard?
For all the time. It's so fun. It still happens to this day. My gamer girlfriends and stuff like that, they'll talk like, "You don't know like how bad guys are." I'm like, I know exactly how bad guys are. Like, like some people are just like, some dudes are just thirsty. They see the name immediately, and they're like, "Hey, yo, what's up, ThicccMamii?" And I'm like, I'll like wait a second.
Yeah.
And people have seen me do this on stream too. I'll wait a second. I'll be like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" Like, and I'll hit him with the
You give them the deepest fucking Morgan Freeman voice that you can give them.
the deep voice, bro. And they're like, "Oh no,
surprise, motherfucker!"
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
I'm like,
shit!
"Hey, bro, spit your game, bro. Spit your game."
You're like, what's good? Oh, bro, you totally white chicks them, bro. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like the movie.
It's hilarious, and it's like it cracks me up every single time. Even when I join in, like if I'm joining in on a friend's game, maybe a fellow streamer or whatever is like, "Hey, we should run some games sometime," and I'm like, I don't know who they're playing with. I'm like, "Sure, I'll join up." So I go join up with them, and they're like, "Oh," and they'll be with some guy, and they'll be like, "Oh, hey, what's up, ThicccMamii?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And they're like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Oh, she didn't tell you, or he didn't tell you that I'm a dude." That's hilarious. Like,
Bro.
so like I have people setting up their own friends for it, which is fantastic.
You're like, "Yeah, we're gonna go run with the homie ThicccMamii today. She's really cool," or something like that. Then all of a sudden, you're just like, "What's up, bro?"
Like, "Oh, we love ThicccMamii. Hey, come in here. Let's play a couple games." And I'm like, "Yep." And then I'll hop in, and they're like whoever they're with, guys or girls. It happens to girls a lot too. They'll be like, "Oh, hi, Thick," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Like, how are you?" And they're like, "Oh, you're a dude."
You're like, "Hey,
sure am." You got it.
That's funny, man. Are you a full-time streamer? But if you're not a full-time streamer, how much do you stream, and what's that get go? In your life.
I say I definitely put in full-time hours. Most people know that I stream. I'm almost live almost every day. Some days I take some days off or whatnot, but I work 4 days a week at a restaurant, and then I stream. I usually don't start till late. That's kind of my group and my crew that comes through and to watch me is usually the late night crew. Plus, like that's just my schedule because I work at a restaurant, but I work nights, so I usually don't go into work until 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I definitely put in full-time hours. Being a full-time, I guess I'm a full-time streamer, but I'm like, and I do okay for myself via stream, but I don't make like full-time streamer money where I can just like quit working.
Is that the goal? Is that like?
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I actually like working. If I started getting to the point where I didn't have to work anymore, I would probably still work at least a couple nights a week just to get out of the house. It's always nice to get away from the screens. I look at screens pretty much all day. At work, I have a screen that I punch in stuff. I have my phone. There's another screen I get online. I have my 2 monitors here. It's always screens. So it is nice to have some time to like get away from the screens. And it's just like, even at work, like, okay, I'm only punching in an order or whatever, but for the most part, I'm making drinks or whatever, serving. So it's nice to get out of the house. But I mean, yeah, I would love to be like, who wouldn't want to be a full-time content creator? I mean, it's awesome. You get to work on your own schedule. I mean, right now, like I say this all the time, like I don't even get like how I've gotten to the point where I feel like I'm popular enough to hang out with all these people and do this stuff like all the time. I'm just playing video games with my friends for the most part, or new friends. I'm meeting new people always, always bringing like new streamers into my rotation that I hang out with and play games with. I'm just hanging out, throwing back a couple beers and playing video games with my friends. Like, this is the coolest job ever.
So let me ask you, with all the things that streaming brings, right? What makes streaming so fun for you, bro?
Oh man, I mean, it's definitely the connections. Like, I'm not joking when I say that I think I have more online friends than I have like real friends. Like, my circle IRL is like tight, you know?
Yeah.
It's only a couple homies that I trust, but it's funny because it expands into this my internet friends. Like we have maybe never met each other in person. Like for a great example is yourself, bro. I got you. I got your back. Like I would do anything for you, dog. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
appreciate
and
that.
I have other friends like that where I'm just like I would do anything for you if I have the capability for it. I would do anything to help you out. You know, and it's really cool because I've built like these really solid connections with a lot of people, and it's just like I now have some of like my best friends are people that I've never even like seen in person.
So it seems like, streaming has obviously made a big impact on your life, but what would you say, is like the biggest impact that streaming has personally made in your life?
I'd say it's helped a lot with my mental health status. I got diagnosed with depression when I was like 15. Took me a while to figure that out. I didn't really go to therapy or anything like that. I did some, and then whatever. And I'm like, you kind of just end up feeling crazy at that point when you're sitting down with the shrink, essentially. And I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
So I did a lot of research on it. I started kind of finding where it comes from for myself, because you got to kind of figure that out for yourself. I know I just have moments where I get sad and I try to help myself out of it. And honestly, streaming has helped me a lot with that, because like even when I'm sad, I'll be like, okay, you know what? There's people that want to see you online. Let's go. Like, let's go. We don't have, we don't have to be all mopey and sad right now. Like,
Yeah.
I can go get cheered up by playing some games with my friends, or even just talking with them. I would definitely say that it's definitely helped me in my mental health state more often than not. That's been like moments where I've just been feeling down, and like, I'll be like, oh, people texting me or hitting me up on Instagram or whatever, being like, hey, like, are you getting on tonight? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, I'm kind of in a slump. And it's like, well, you know what, let's just go, let's go catch a couple dubs. And and it releases that endorphins. I'm like, somebody really wants to hang out with me right now.
That's tight.
Let's go. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it's been helpful for sure.
The mental health factor, it's crazy too, because a lot of people don't talk about that, bro. It's like how streaming and gaming in general definitely helps out your mental health. Back in the day, and too, because we're on the same age, that back in our day, it was really frowned upon, to go ahead and be, on the game all day, or be looking at a monitor or any type of electronic device for a while, and now it's like this is an outlet for us to really, really be, connected and deal with our mental health.